The title of this music is called Spiritual and Gospel Songs.
Yeah.
You see. And in America, when our people were taken from Africa, the first revolution was the spirituals. Because spiritual means music of the spirit. So despite all the pain that they had to be brought to the Americas, they produced the spiritual music and the gospel music.
Can't no grave hold my body down.
This man, Paul Robeson, I shook his hand on my first trip to Nigeria in 1961.
Get up out of the ground. I can't no grief hold my body down. It was early one morning.
I met him in New York.
Okay.
Before we went to Nigeria, they had a big ball with the Count Basie Orchestra. I shook his hand.
Yeah.
It was enough.
And they found that the Savior was gone. You know, can no grief hold my.
You want to listen to him?
Yes.
You have a favorite song?
Deep River. Two great men in my life. I only shook their hands. Paul Robeson, Louis Armstrong, said to. But the touch,
Yeah. Which label you should be interested in checking what they have?
Prestige?
Let's say a Riverside. Yeah, I was the first Riverside artist.
Oh, yeah.
I made the very first recording. Yeah, I did music of Cole Porter. That's before I thought I was going to be a composer. So I did all Cole Porter's music for Riverside, and it was a 10-inch, you know. Yeah. The second one was called Zulu, where I added Art Blakey and Sam Gill on bass. You know.
That's the one we have.
Yeah. U.B. Blake is one of the great masters of the piano, composer, writer, and he demonstrates the history of African-American piano, that way of playing the piano, what they call ragtime and stride, you know. He was a master. U.B. was not tall. U.B. was not tall. U.B. was about this tall. His hands were bigger than my hands, you know.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he lived in Brooklyn on a street called Stuyvesant Avenue. And I used to go there when he was in his 90s. He died 100 years old.
Yeah, I remember.
Right. I used to go to his house and sit in the corner, and he'd tell me all the old stories about all the great pianists, 1890 so and 1890 this. Yeah, and I used to listen because the history of what I do, to me, is so important. So U.B., he was so great.
So you had a direct connection to him.
Yeah, a spiritual connection.
This was in 74.
Yeah, his huge hands. Les mains, c'est énorme. He played.
You can see half of his head. Yeah. This picture here was taken in Switzerland, and my son took that photograph. Miles?
Yeah, he took that photograph. He was such a great natural artist. He could do everything. He could paint, he could sculpt, he could play drum, he could do everything. But that's his photograph there. When I look at it here, it's very beautiful.
Yeah, great light.
Yeah, each one's a story. Okay. This man, I've adored this man all my life. He sang with the Count Basie Band in the 30s and 40s.
Jimmy Rushing.
Jimmy Rushing. So I had an opportunity one night in New York at a benefit to play with him and Art Blakey. I was so happy because I have a chance to play with a powerful blues singer, Jimmy Rushing, you know. And after we played together, he said, Randy, he said to me, always play the blues. He said, the blues is the most important music on the planet. I said, well, Mr. Rushing, I said, how could you say that? It's all kind of music on the planet. He said, yeah. He said, but there's no music can be more direct. I love you and you don't love me. Only blues can have that direct communication. Mm-hmm. And they say we survive as a people because of the blues. They don't have to play a lot of notes. They may play only 1, 2, or 3 notes, you know, and with those notes, each note such has a power because they're capturing, for me, the spirit of Africa, which is the foundation of our planet, you know. I never forget what he said to me because I suddenly realized the importance of the blues.
Every day I have the blues. Every day
Big man, huh?
I have the blues.
Real thing.
Every day, baby, it's you that I hate to lose. I'm gonna pack my suitcase, baby.
You see, another important thing about this music was created during a period of segregation. So African American people, they had to stay in their own, they couldn't go in other areas. They had to stay there. But this became a tremendous place of culture. People directly from Africa, some from the Caribbean, some from the South, come to New York, California, and you have all this music, and it was incredible. The last one I'd like to play for you, this man played a very important role in my life. His name is Ahmad Abdul Malik. Ahmad Abdul Malik, he grew up in Brooklyn like myself, and he played the bass. And he also played the oud. And we got to be very close. And he was the first one to take me downtown Brooklyn, in the Middle Eastern section of Brooklyn, you see. And there you have Middle Eastern restaurants. You have instruments like the qanun and the oud and all that wonderful music of Middle East and whatnot. And Malik used to take me down there. He made this recording, and it's called Jazz Sahara. And he was one of the first to combine the music of the Middle East and that part of Africa and whatnot into what we call jazz music. First composition for Africa. My first song, was Zulu, or 1955.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1955. Yeah.
Sam Gill.
Yeah, Sam Gill.
Is it the guy who composed Solemn Meditation?
Exactly.
I know 2 versions of it. One is yours, one is Paul Bley.
Exactly. Exactly.
Other people played it?
Well, no, because you know what he did? He was a principal bassist in the Denver Symphony Orchestra for 48 years. 48 years, this guy. But he always called me up and talk about these early things we did together. Yeah, but he got really big in symphony with it. Yeah, so he's good. Yeah.
Great.
That's my second recording, my first composition for Africa. Yeah. So again, I keep saying the last man, but I'll be here all day.
You're welcome.
This one I had to pull out because this is by Ola Tunji. It's called Drums of Passion. Drums of Passion was the first recording that became a hit in America.
This one?
This one, first hit. Before that, You did not hear any African traditional music. Now, it was being played, but this was the first hit record, you know. And as it turned out, that Dutilh and I, we have a long history. I met him in the Berkshires in the early 1950s, and he's on my recording, Uhuru Africa, in 1960.
Coltrane knew him too, no?
Very well.
Yeah.
They wanted to open a school together in Harlem.
Really?
Yes, it didn't happen. That's what they wanted to do. Yeah, because they were very deep in exposing African and Asian culture, which we know so little about in music, you see, yeah. So they're very, very active.
Yeah.
I went on, Riverside. Monk's solo piano.
Yeah, Monk
Or
solo.
the trio with Oscar Pettiford and Kenny Clark
Yeah.
playing Duke Ellington.
Oh, Monk play Ellington, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it. It should be.
yeah, I know this.
No. There are several other Monk anyway, but not this one. It's a 5-spot. Did you play there?
Yes, I was the second group to play there.
Oh.
When they opened the 5-spot, I was the last one to play an upright piano. When they got Monk to come, they got their first grand piano. Yeah, so it was very special. On 3rd Avenue and 3rd Street and 5th Avenue in Manhattan. Now it's no more there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is Thelonious Monk place.
wonderful,
Duke.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Thelonious Monk, you know, yeah.
Yeah, Oscar Pettiford, Kenny Clark.
Yes,
You're right.
Yeah,
Good memory.
it's a classic.
Yeah.
The first time I heard this man
Monk.
is with Coleman Hawkins. And because of Coleman Hawkins, because of Body and Soul, which is one of the greatest works of music ever done, in any kind of music. And Coleman Hawkins with his sound for me, his melodic, his harmonics, a way of playing this song. He's not playing the melody, but you can hear the melody, you know. So from Coleman Hawkins, I discovered Hank Jones, I discovered Sir Charleston, I discovered a lot of young pianists. But this particular night, I went into this club on 52nd Street, the first time I heard Ruby My Dear, which was composed by Thelonious Monk. First time I heard Monk, first time I heard this song with him and Coleman Hawkins. It changed my life, you know.
Lucky man.
Because it's almost, Monk's music went way back. For me, thousand years of African civilization. This is what I heard when I heard it, because the piano's not supposed to sound like that.
Duke Ellington, Thelonious Monk, Randy Weston. Do you feel that you are in a lineage like that? Or same kind
I
of...
feel, yeah, a continuation.
Yeah.
But the most important are the original composers, you see, because everything everything I do, Duke is there, bass is there, Nat Cole is there, Monk is there. They gave us a foundation with this music that we can go so many directions, but they're always the foundation of Randy Weston. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm just a continuation and try to have more people understand the importance of a Louis ensemble, important of those early musicians.
Thank you for your spirit and for your ancestors.
Thank you so
Randy.
much.